let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me.
There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man.
You just saw one of the gay mafia members. That's who he is. That's who Puffy is. He's one of the members of the mob. He's a mafia member. But he might not be Don Carl. He's not the godfather. You see? He's not the godfather. He's one of the heads of the families. You see? We had different families in this fucking thing.
I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man.
The Secret Architects, Katt Williams and Terrence Howard, have recently pulled back the curtain on how the industry exploits young women and uses black men to drive a specific agenda. In this game, figures like Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein were merely frontline players. The true architects remain in the shadows, using the lure of fame and fortune to entrap rising stars. They demand a heavy price. Men must surrender their masculinity, and women must abandon their values. All part of the hidden price of Hollywood success. The View from the Inside. As an Academy Award nominee, Terrence Howard witnessed the industry's inner workings firsthand. From closed-door meetings to questionable hotel room auditions, he saw the reality of the casting couch and chose to walk away. While many stars stay silent, Diddy's recent legal troubles have exposed how widespread this culture truly is. The federal raid on his Miami property reportedly uncovered hundreds of hours of footage and thousands of bottles of supplies, revealing what the industry worked so hard to conceal. Influential figures forcing top-tier talent into compromising situations under the guise of career favors.
There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man.
Choosing integrity over fame. This narrative takes a darker turn when you realize why Terrence Howard was truly sidelined. It wasn't due to his talent or attitude. He was blacklisted because he refused to sell out. He recounts a specific dinner where Diddy allegedly made inappropriate advances after hearing his music, making it clear that professional success in the music business required personal sacrifices that Terrence was unwilling to make.
Boy, you can't be so happy to change your life. You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house thinking they was finna dance? How does that feel? You a grown man. You gotta leave Diddy's party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up. Whew. Can't roll the window down. You roll the window down, that breeze hit that open ass hole and start blowing and ships start saying, "Wah!"
The Predators myth. This appears to be a standard tactic used by those in power, echoed in numerous lawsuits against industry giants. Promising stars are lured into private settings only to be told that their careers depend on saying yes to the executive's demands. This systemic abuse links back to Diddy and Weinstein. involving some of the biggest names in music who were allegedly exploited as children. This training camp mentality treated young performers like commodities to be traded for profit, often with the silent knowledge of those who should have protected them.
A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
The power of refusal. Control is maintained through the promise of wealth, which is why Katt respects Dave Chappelle so deeply. Chappelle famously turned down $100 million because he realized that the money was a tool for manipulation. Even when mainstream media and other celebrities mocked him for going crazy, Chappelle understood that his freedom was worth more than a paycheck.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put.
The dress pattern. Katt Williams has been sounding this alarm for nearly a decade. Long before the current headlines, he warned that Hollywood success often requires trading your soul. He pointed to a specific trend: black male stars suddenly reaching peak fame only after agreeing to wear dresses or play humiliated roles. Katt argues these aren't just creative choices, but rituals meant to strip these men of their dignity in exchange for a career boost.
Losing out money, you got to take. You're going through so much to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at?
Facing the consequences of no. When Katt Williams was presented with the same humiliation choices as his peers, he stood his ground. His refusal to compromise resulted in him being labeled difficult and facing constant legal pressure. Katt suggests the industry retaliated against him to warn others. The evidence allegedly found at Diddy's home, used as blackmail, further supports the idea that the industry...
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
Silent witnesses. Katt has been vocal about these issues even when Diddy was at the height of his power. He suggests that any celebrity claiming they were unaware of the freak-offs or the dark side of these parties is being dishonest. Despite never attending these events himself, Katt understood the reality of what was happening behind.
So everybody can't do everything. So, you know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
The price of speaking out. The risks of naming names are high. Katt has long feared for his safety and family. Immediately after Terrence Howard went public with his experiences, a smear campaign was launched to discredit him. Terrence has since faced character assassination and alleged threats, proving that the industry moves fast to protect itself when the truth starts to surface.
Struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Two different worlds. Katt Williams highlights a glaring double standard. Certain public figures maintain a gangster image but never face the law, while others are targeted for far less. Despite decades of rumors regarding serious crimes, Diddy remained untouched by the justice system for years. Katt urges the public to look at the contrast between those who are constantly arrested and those who seem to have protection from the consequences of their actions.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind a keyboard or tucked behind edited clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm another's reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. Because in the old world, men didn't hide behind anything. When they spoke against someone, they had to speak it with their whole being. And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man, man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face and say it like a man.
Protection of the powerful. The industry has a history of shielding its own. Harvey Weinstein's behavior was an open secret for years, yet A-list stars continued to associate with him until his downfall was inevitable. Only then did they condemn him. Katt's central question remains: if everyone knew what Diddy and Weinstein were doing, why did they wait until it was safe?
Well, you had a lot, and I understand that if it is for the worse, then I'm prepared to handle that as well. But yeah, it was something.
50 Cent's realization. Terrence Howard wasn't the only one to see through the charade. Even 50 Cent recalls a moment when Diddy offered to take him on a shopping date. Realizing the underlying implications of the offer, 50 Cent kept his distance, recognizing that many within Diddy's circle had already been compromised.
The idea that there are sexual predators in power, not just in Hollywood, I think all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to, inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, I think people understand that, but the larger question is there a culture of complicity in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted, men are afraid to speak up because either they're out of the same fear or they just think, well, this is the way the system works.
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple, and this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity is also complicity. The people who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day.
The Industry Mafia. The tide is beginning to turn as more figures like Lord Jamar speak out. He compares the music industry to a crime syndicate where various labels operate like families under a larger godfather figure. In this system, personal integrity is the first thing you are asked to trade for a seat at the table.
Believe there's people behind the scenes that are homosexuals that are pushing buttons? Yes. Yes. And that they want you to be down with their in order to push the button for you? Absolutely. And this is part of it. You just saw one of the gay mafia members. That's who he is. That's who Puffy is. He's one of the members of the mob. He's a mafia member. But he might not be Don Carl. He's not the godfather. You see? He's not the godfather. He's one of the heads of the families. You see? We had different families in this thing. We got Bad Boy. We got what do we have? Death Row over here. We have the different we got Arista Records and LaFace. These are the families in the mafia. You dig? Those record companies are like families.
More than a joke. The difference with Katt Williams is that he treats these comedic observations as serious warnings. He sees how the industry weaponizes normalcy and uses fame as a trap. This isn't just about sensational headlines. It's about a calculated pattern of behavior designed to break individuals down and keep them in line. Once you see the pattern, the glamour of Hollywood disappears.
I'm in the production business. I understand what is worth doing for ratings. I understand what is worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another. And I know what happens when they don't care about either of them. This is how quarterbacking go. So the question is, hey, your quarterback just got sacked. Did we know we was spent to sack your quarterback? We absolutely did. It was a play, buddy. We've been rehearsing it, working it out, making sure that at some point when you get to this level, we can make sure we knock you from a $20 million man to putting in the news that people won't hire you no more and your career is done. Yeah.
So you're saying it was a setup?
You can do all of that.
Are you saying it was?
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend that seems like a setup is
everything that happens in a business. Everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend that seems like a setup is.
The surface is cracking. Is Katt Williams right about the system? Is the truth finally coming to light? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the wall of silence is finally starting to crumble.